As a counselor, there is this observation that I've had while checking through my record book 2 days ago, because most of the time I pick up my record book and I check through the clients that I've counseled so far. Then I check back on them to know how are they progressing with their lives. And in the process, I had an observation. I observed that the link between every problem that they actually bring to my table, especially my female clients. I have the male clients and I have the female clients. There's this striking similarity between what this one brought to my table, what this one brought to my table, and I'm like, okay, what's going on there? But when I try to compare, I realize that is majorly prevalent among my female clients. It now made me to calm down and look at my book, and this is what I come to realize. The similarity between all of the female clients that come to me that I'm talking about is one thing: too much expectations. Women are not happy. We are not happy. But why are we not happy? Too much expectation. And it is far funny because even when they come to me and I try to be real with them about what they're doing wrong, it looks like some of them are still obsessed with their expectations of life and their expectation from their spouse, and it kills them the more. The more they think about it that they deserve this and they are not getting it, the more it weighs them down and the more it causes conflicts between them and their spouses. Uncommunicated expectation is one thing that is killing my gender in marriage. Uncommunicated expectation. As a lady who is getting married to a man, you already have a life on your own before you decided to settle down. Like I used to say, marriage is just another entity, another part of your life, which means that there is more to life than just marriage. You have a life before marriage and you need a life after marriage. And naturally, both the men and the women, we understand it that the whole world don't revolve around just getting married. You understand? So now the problem is you have an expectation of who you want to be and how you want to be it. The life you would want to live in the marriage, but you are not communicating it. How can you meet a man and just because you are impressed by his physical looks, or you feel that okay, his pocket is healthy enough to actually cater for you, you feel that okay, I've been through the 4 walls of the school, now this is what I need. Since he is interested in marriage, let me just give him the chance to get married to me, and boom, that is all, you both are married. And the funny part of it is that you people are always discussing irrelevant things like what's your favorite color, what is your favorite food. You are not communicating what needs to be communicated. Trust me, a broken relationship is better than a broken marriage. It is better for you to come out and discuss with a man your expectations of him, what you would like him to do for you as a husband, how you want him to stand up for you, the position you are looking at him occupying in your life before the marriage. And if he tells you, you know what, you are too much for me, it is healthy for a man to say that you are too much for me. That does not mean that you are too much for everyone. It means that he is not just the man for you. So let him go look for somebody else for himself while you look for somebody that is your match. But the problem is we are trying to get married to somebody, then we are now trying to forcefully move them into who we want them to become. And that is hard. This is where men will now say, you are controlling me, you are daring me too much. I cannot have a wife that nag too much, that is controlling, always demanding. And there is nothing wrong with you demanding. Do you know the reason why you are nagging? You are nagging because you are not heard. You feel not heard. You keep talking about what you want, but this man is not paying attention. And the reason why he's not paying attention is everything is sounding strange to him, as you but never discussed that before marriage. Though there are some men that even when you connote all of those things to them, they still mess you up in marriage. But it is always good to actually relate it to them, so that even when you decide to file for divorce in the future, you're going to stand on something. We had this discussion, but he's going against the plan and I cannot continue with the marriage. Uncommunicated expectation. Number 2, too much of expectations. You actually watch too much movies. You have seen the way couples treat each other and all of that, breakfast on bed, flowers, and all of that. You have high expectations of what marital system is. That is why you would come online and you see people posting about the negativity in marriage, and you are like, I'll marry right and I'll marry once. I'll marry right and I'll marry once. As if those ones, they actually buy the unfortunate situation for themselves. Are not listening when people talk about the reality of marriage. They are not trying to discourage you. They are trying to tell you to pay attention, prioritize what is important, pay attention to details before you go into this system, because I am already there. There are things I can no longer correct, but I think you can do better. Not necessarily that they are trying to discourage you. Why are you people always coming up to social media with negative? Fine. That is why I always advise, don't come to social media to listen to all these podcasts always talking about the negative side of men. Every man is not negative. Your man is not going to be negative. But it is your choice now to work towards getting a man that is not endowed with negative energy. You have too much expectations of what marriage should be, how your husband should get a car, and whenever he is going out, you people will go together. If you put on discuss all of this before marriage, that is too much expectation. A man have a life that he lived before you got married to him, and he would want to continue to live his life even inside marriage with you. This is also applicable to men. Some men just have too much expectations of their wife. They believe that as a woman, when you wake up and you are greeting them, you should be on your knee. Did you discuss it with her before marriage? You have to discuss it. You have to talk about it before marriage. You're not just going to expect somebody's daughter who is not used to greeting in a particular way to start worshiping you. She is not going to see it as a form of according cultural respect. She see it as you trying to enslave her, and you cannot blame her for it because it's not her ways. So the both people should stop having too much expectations of each other. Number 3, which is the odogu of this discussion, have a skill. That is one link that I just see with all of those things. Try and afford a life. You know, when somebody tell you get a life, you'd say it as an insult, but trust me, you need to get a life. You need to be able to afford a life. The problem is, most women go into marriage believing that marriage is going to be a financial liberation for them. So you have spent all the years waiting for the man that is odogu financially to come get married to you because you want to live the soft life. Now you are married to him and you're not getting what you want. You cannot be having too much expectations of finance from a man. Some men are like this, their hand be. While some men, they are like this, but they actually have what they call financial spending control. So because you know that your husband is having 1 million naira in his account, doesn't mean that 800k from that 1 million belongs to you. That does not mean that you are entitled to that 1 million naira in his account. There's a reason why the money is there. You are a part of the reason, but you are not all of the reason. You need to get a life. I know, because some of the things that these women tell me is that their husband is not allowing them to work. Which still brings us back to what? Discuss those things before marriage. I'm an educated person. Will you allow me to work? If you're not going to allow me to work, will you allow me to do business? Have it on a written paper, because marriage is such a wild environment now that people are maltreating each other. If he refuses to go to the court and write those things down with you, make all these promises with you, let him go. It is not by force. You will find your kind. He will find his kind. If you're not ready to be a full housewife, discuss it. It's not that when you are in marriage, you're now start fighting not to be a full housewife. You need financial income for yourself. You need to be able to afford a life. Anything you want. You can't be running to your husband all the time. As a matter of fact, I used to say that your husband should be able to come to you whenever he's in need of money. Babe, can you borrow me 500k? I'm going to give you later. You know, let it not be that you are the one always borrowing from him. Lastly, do not put your happiness in the hands of your spouse. Don't look at it that your spouse must be the one to make you happy. When you are seeing them, you should feel joyed. When you are seeing them, you should feel lucky. No. Stop having too much expectation. When you see your spouse and there's this joy that emanates in your body, oh my God, be grateful to God. But do not look at it that they will always be the one to give you happiness. What happened to the days when they will be sick? They will be too ill to entertain you. Whatever they are doing to you now, it's not going to continue like that forever. Something can change at any point in time. So don't put your happiness in the hands of your spouse. Make yourself happy and create happiness around yourself. Bye.